I've always loved experimenting with machines, and today I'm going to share you a fun little project. I'm going to be converting my CNC router into a pen plotter. So instead of it carving out material, it's actually going to be making a sketch using a whiteboard marker. And why, you may ask? Well, imagine the possibilities. You can create complex artwork, intricate designs, and even detailed note-taking, all onto a whiteboard using CNC control. Now let's talk about how I'm planning to build the pen plotter. First off, I'll need to create a sturdy mounting point for the whiteboard marker so that it can be lifted up and lowered down and pressed against the whiteboard. The CNC can then move this pen around following the path that we've designed on the computer. After finding a pipe of the right diameter, I then needed a way to mount it to the gantry. I installed a steel plate on the gantry with 2 marked holes, and I also installed 2 bolts that go through this steel pipe here and protrude about 6 millimeters. These bolts line up with the 2 holes that I've drilled into the steel plate, allowing them to fit together. With the addition of some magnets, it also allows it to stay attached while the CNC is moving around. The last thing to consider is how the whiteboard marker will stay inside the pipe. You don't want it to fall out when the CNC is lifted up off the whiteboard. But likewise, you also want to provide a little bit of cushioning in case it does get pressed down a little too hard. You don't want to break the marker either. I managed to resolve these problems. First off, by using a small piece of foam which I've cut to the right diameter to fit inside the pipe. And that acts as a cushion for the marker when it gets pushed inside. In addition, I've added a small elastic, just temporarily, so that it can loop around and hold onto the tip, so that when it is turned upside down, it won't fall out. That then allows the marker to stay in the right position as the CNC is moving around.